What are you talking about, Willis?
It's Fight Mike.
With the one and only, one of my favorite of all time, proud to call him a friend, Josh Emmett, fighting Shane Burgos June 20th. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, that's right, man. It's nice to talk to you. It's been a long time.
Like 4 years or something, 5 years probably, huh?
No,
Too long, too
little
long,
less than
man.
that. Yeah, but yeah, it's been a while. I know I just had my 4 year anniversary in the UFC. That's kind of crazy in May. And over 2 of those years, I've been sidelined. So just to see how much, if I wasn't sidelined for those 2 years, I would have that much more fights in the UFC. But it's crazy. It's crazy, how everything kind of unfolds and happens. And I am
Yeah.
grateful though.
I remember when you were 10-0 and I went into the gym and I did that interview with you. And I just remember, dude, like it just seemed like things were just kind of like heavy with you because you're just like, man, you just weren't sure they were gonna call you. Remember Uriah kept hounding him. It was like, you got to sign
Yeah.
Josh, you got to sign Josh, and you're kind of just. I remember you telling me you're kind of like, I don't know, dude. They haven't called. They said they're gonna call, they haven't called, and then bam, bro, look at you now
No, you're right. Like I remember that we were in the gym, we were sitting on
on the
the
side of
boxing
the.
ring, and it was like this is my year. No, I remember it exactly. And I was just saying, like, if I don't get in by the end of this year, I'm done. I was kind of hang it up, and then dude, there we are. It's perfect because I was undefeated. I almost got on the Ultimate Fighter a few times. I almost got in the UFC,
Yeah,
and went with someone else. And then it's like just win one more, win one more. Everyone was on top of them, and I was fighting all these UFC vets or guys with tons of fights. Because it was tough for me, just the team we come from and my record and background. So I was literally like, if I lost a fight, I was done. Anyways, that was my thing. If I lost a fight, I was done because I would have been set back. And then if I did not get in, I was done. But then my wife's the one that said, just wait till the end of the year. I was thinking about after I fought Yagos, and I won, then still didn't get in. I was going to fight that other guy. I was like, man, if I don't get a call after this, I'm done. And she's like, give it till the end of the year. And then boom, like 6 weeks later, I got the call. But
sometimes
on a delayed
sometimes a
notice.
woman knows best, bro.
Dude, yeah. Otherwise, I'd be probably working. I'd be working at the state right now, just having a desk job. Who knows? Being one of those guys, like I could have done that.
But you're there, bro, man. It's every single time, bro. Just watching your fights, dude. I'm just like I'm cheering, and I'm like talk to friends, and I'm like I'm genuinely happy for this guy. I watched it, and I was like, he's a legit nice dude. And I was like, if he was hanging out with us right now, just by kicking it with the boys, and they're like, man, that's cool to hear. But yeah, man, it's just really cool to see you guys just like really doing it, man.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And I appreciate all the you it's kind of like I think West Coast was great, just kind of got us prepared for this. And then of course you doing all your videos and interviews with us, like on that stage, it got me prepared for the big show because it's like nothing changed, you know what I mean? It's like I'm sitting here doing interviews with you back then on the regional scene when I'm, 2, 3-0 as a pro, and then
Yeah,
exact same thing. It just goes out to a bigger audience. So thank you because I feel like everyone part of West Coast, and then everything you did for us on the media end and everything like that really got me prepared, and a lot of us that made it to the big show.
yeah, we all helped each other, man. Like I just remember going
Yeah,
into the gym and everyone was asking for interviews, and I was just coming up with different ideas, just putting my crazy ideas together. But I was like, you know what? I kind of feel if I just think outside the box and I do this one idea that I'm going to do, it'll give them more exposure. Um, Kind of get you guys more comfortable on camera. I did notice that, like with a few of you, like when I
yeah,
did a few interviews at the beginning, and then like months down the road after I've done several, I noticed everybody got really comfortable, like in front of the
yeah.
camera.
Because it's weird at first because like for someone that like you you went to acting school, you did acting
Yeah.
classes. Like I never did any of that. So it's like it's weird when it's like a camera's in front of your face, or they're like, just pretend the camera's not there. I'm like, but the
Yeah.
thing's right here. I'm
He's
like,
right there.
yeah, or you're just talking and you're just sitting there talking and you really don't know what to do with anything, your hands, or you're just like, or just like super monotone and no expression with your face. But that got me super comfortable. Even doing the press conferences at,
Yeah.
West Coast, like it's the same thing too, here. But a lot of we're just lucky that we had some of the best, helping us get
Exactly,
there
bro.
and mold us and develop us. So yeah, it's been a good ride.
That's awesome, bro. Let's talk about this fight. How did they match you up with Shane? Did you had like they just called you and offered you him, or do you have like other choices, or can you talk about it?
Yeah, no, that's man, I feel like they don't ever offer me multiple people. It's just hey, you want to fight this guy? And they know my answer, to this day, still never turned a fight down or said no. There was a little, misinformation with the whole name, Edson Barboza fight. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like that
okay.
was something that they just kind of leaked. Said I was fighting him on this date. They threw
Yeah.
the name out there, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm not opposed." But they're doing contract negotiation, and I'm like, if it makes sense, they pay me, then I'm down. But people were excited about that, and they never even offered it to me. They never even asked me. So that's why I'm like, I won't be there because they never asked me. But with the Shane Burgos fight, it's I knew we'd eventually cross paths just because, we're on the same, trajectory, and
Yeah.
he's an up and comer. Like I think people say he's an up and comer, but it's like he's 6-1 in the UFC. I'm 6-2. I think he got in the UFC a few months or a month before me. So I don't. So am I up and comer too? Or it's just kind of weird how they label certain people. But I'm a veteran. But anyways, they just offered me him, and he was the only one kind of available at the time. I think the division's tied up a lot right now, especially with the pandemic and international fighters not being able to get in the U.S.
Yeah.
And certain people, like I know Zabit is doing Ramadan right now, so I don't believe he'll fight during that. And there's some injuries, so yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. It's a tough fight. Burgos is a man. He's going to be a tough test for sure. And I think with each fight I get, I always treat it as my toughest fight to date, and I believe he deserves that title now. It's going to be one of my toughest fights. He's a big guy for the featherweight division. He's tall. He's physically a big person. Has a long reach. He's a great striker. His volume, he has just his output is like I think he has some of the highest output in the division, and significant strikes landed within the minute. He has that record, and his gas tank is phenomenal. He's just constantly, the guy seems like each round he's just like leveling up, and the dude doesn't gas. I know it's going to be a hell of a fight, a tough one for sure. But
Yeah.
me, I'll be prepared, and I'll be ready for the challenge. And yeah, I'm stoked about it. Even though he's a great striker, it's his ground game is good too. So don't let people just think of him as this big, powerful striker. But I think his first handful of amateur wins were all submissions. He has, a slick submission off his back in the UFC, and he's definitely well-rounded.
So I was gonna ask you, man, dude, how hard has it been to train with like the quarantine and like is there like limited partners that you guys have to select people you're gonna go with and like you stick to them?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's difficult. Like the gym closed down March 19th, so from there we really didn't have anything. It's like I'm lucky I have some bags in my garage, and I've been hitting the bag. I've been running. I stuck to a strict diet. That's one thing, since I haven't fought since last July.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to come out of this, this shelter in place or quarantine better than when I started. And so there has been no time off for me. I stuck to the same regimen and everything, going to sleep, waking up, instead of going to pro practices, I'm running, and I'm running around the neighborhood. I'm hitting the bag. Then we started doing one-on-ones with our coaches. So I'm doing one-on-ones with my boxing coach, or, Joey Rodriguez. I'm
Oh
working with
yeah.
Danny. I'm working with Chris. I'm working with my strength coach. I'm just kind of doing everything I need to. And then once some guys started getting fights, it was Darren Elkins and Song Yadong. But we already had a small group that were going into the gym, like probably 4 or 5 weeks after Uriah gave some guys keys, and
Yeah.
we would just go in there and do our own thing. And then we got a small group. There was like 5 of us. So it was Cody, Andre, Elkins, Song, and myself. And we were doing our sparring, doing our practices with the coaches and our individual work. So it's been kind of nice just because we've been able to really focus on just our technique and things that we specifically need to work on. So, for once, I actually feel really good, like no injuries, because even though we're not getting those hard, grueling practices that we have day in and day out. I think this could be like a new thing. Kind of maybe I take some things away from the quarantine just because, and add it to my training just because my
Yeah.
body does feel good. And I'm really listening to my body and just doing different things. I'm always trying to stay like ahead of the game and do just because I'm getting older. So I feel like I can't just hop in and do certain things. Like I don't recover the way I did when I was younger, and I could pull something, and it sucks getting old and then being in this fight game too.
So yeah, you kind of feel like the recovery has been like the one takeaway from the quarantine that like as far as like a plus.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I'm feeling good, and then only getting, now we're getting like several practices in a day, and then instead of me, sometimes when you drill with people that, not to say, but just you have to be smart about like your career. I only go with people now that like I 100% like trust, that,
Yeah.
because if you go with someone that doesn't really know what they're doing and just being nice, or like, hey, you want to get this round or rolling, you're like, okay. And then you go and they do some weird shit and spaz out and go the opposite way and you hurt something. So like now I'm kind of, I'll just say, no, I'm good. I have my partner, but
You have your core
I'm,
group, you think now? Really?
yeah, for sure. Like even certain people that are pros and stuff, like I just know, so I won't go with them. There's only a handful of people that, that I know that there's not going to be any ego involved, and it's like, we're just trying to get better so we can get to the fight. And I've had all those like hard sparring wars in the gym for, it seems like a decade now, and so I know how to fight as long as I'm in tip top shape.
Mhm.
I always say if I'm in the best shape possible and I can go for 15 minutes and I just show up, like the best me shows up, there's no one in the world that can beat me. And I truly believe that. And that's the number one thing. So if I work on technique, work on that conditioning, and just implement my game plans and stuff like that, and get to the fight without being injured,
Yeah.
um, which we always have injuries regardless, but I feel like I'll perform that much better and I'll have a longer career.
That's a crazy weight class. The situation's kind of crazy in your weight class right now, right? Like
Yeah.
anybody could step up and be the number one guy and become champion. Like that's just it's realistically you guys are stacked at 145, man.
Yeah, I think it's, some of the toughest, like I've always thought 45s, 55s are the toughest divisions in the UFC. And I think it's more of like not even an average weight class, but I just feel like I always fall into, even in wrestling, man,
Yeah.
I always fell into feel like the toughest weight class in the state or the country. And
Yeah.
it's like, and now here I am now, I was like always wishing I could be like my build, just way heavier or way lighter. But that's not how things go.
What are you weighing like right now?
I still have quite a bit, not quite a bit, a little bit of weight to go.
Okay.
During the quarantine, I probably lost like 20 something pounds and have quite a bit to go in the next 20 days till weigh-ins. But I track everything, so it's definitely going to be, the 4 week notice is a little sooner than I would have liked, but
Yeah.
I'll make it happen. It's weight's always going to be the biggest thing for me, just because I feel like I cut a lot, but it's 55s. I'm just too. I feel like I'm just too small for that division. But if there's a catch or just a 50-pound weight class, oh, I would
That
love
would be all
that.
you, huh?
That would be all me. But there's no way that's ever going to happen.
I know, man. They're trying to push for that 160
the
class
yeah, the
for a while, right?
65, right?
65. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Man.
that's what I was saying. Like, there's no way they'd go 45, 50. Like, it just sucks because it's like, yeah, I can make 55 somewhat easy right now, but then it's just, man, the 45s it's something else.
Man. Did you watch some fights last night?
Yeah, yeah. I watched. I missed a handful just because I was working with a coach, but yeah, I watched most of them.
What do you think of Tyron, bro?
Man, it was tough. Like I know Gilbert Burns. man, he's something else. He's really good. And so I kind of thought like, man, I had a feeling he'd win, but then it goes back to the whole, which Woodley kind of shows up and he's super athletic. He's a great fighter, but he just doesn't really let it go. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard. So I felt like he was just kind of sitting back and just, the commentators were saying just looking for one big shot and not really doing anything or having any sense of urgency. So I feel like it cost him the fight, but how he came out in the first round or the last, it sounded like the last round when the clapper went 10 seconds, then he started to come together. I was like, man, why didn't you do that
Way
for at
too
least a
late,
whole
right?
round? Or so I don't know. He's good. He's super talented, but I don't know. Maybe he needs to. I don't know what he needs to do. Maybe change something up a little bit, but he is fighting the best guys in the world all the time. But I feel like he just needs to let it go and just relax in there a little bit more. And I feel like the knockouts will come instead of just forcing them.
Yeah. Man, what else? I was gonna ask you something else too. The whole situation with Uriah. I saw that he weighed in at that last one. I heard the whole
Uh-huh.
story. He almost fought. Man, that guy's gangster, bro. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's crazy, but he was like the whole time they were dealing with Song's visa, they weren't sure if it was going to get approved, especially because everything's shut down because of the
yeah.
pandemic. And so it was just kind of I guess, crazy story. So that was kind of in the back of his mind, and then he got there, and they were still working on it, and then they had a meeting. They're like, they're not going to be able to get it, otherwise they're going to have to send Song on this Dana's jet or something to fly somewhere to get a stamp on his visa, and then
Oh,
otherwise Uriah would have to step in. And so he's like, okay, I'm down, and obviously the money that they were going to pay him, like it'd be hard not to, just get just step in there. You don't have to worry about anything, think about it at all.
yeah.
It's just like, shit, I'm fighting tomorrow and I'm going to get a huge payday. So, and he's always exciting and entertaining.
Always.
And he's like the most positive guy. So even he can just talk himself up. I guess he was even saying how he's like, all of a sudden he's like, okay, I'm going to fight tomorrow. I can go hard for 15 minutes. Like, and he truly, he could, and
Yeah.
he believes it. And he was telling himself that, and he was pumping himself up like, yeah, I'm going to fight tomorrow. Like, I can go hard for 15 minutes. I'm like, dude, that's nuts.
That guy's awesome, bro. That's badass, dude. You said you're been training with Cody, or has he been in New York with? He's been
No,
training
no,
with.
he's been here the whole time. He
Oh,
was out
okay.
he was out in Jersey, just kind of doing half of his camp. Like, he's going back and forth because he's been working with Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Uh, but then during this, he's been back here the whole time. So he was back in March, and he would go like a week here, 2 weeks out there, or 2 and 2, something like that. But since March, he didn't want to risk anything, and he has his family here and all that. So he just did his whole camp out here, and yeah, he's looking good. I think he just has to stick to his game plan, and the dude is so fast and just well rounded. You know what I mean? I just feel like if he just sticks to the plan that is set, like, same thing, he can make a run and get that title back too.
Yeah. His opponent is here in Atlanta.
Oh, he lives out there.
He trains here. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, I had hit up Cody the other day, but I figured it was the same time I hit you up last time. But I
Oh,
figured you're
okay.
probably going to go train. So
Yeah, because we were doing our like sparring in the afternoons on Wednesday.
oh, okay. Shoot, man,
Oh.
that was probably the worst day to hit you guys up then.
It
Now I
doesn't
know now.
matter. No,
Wednesdays you
I
do?
would have hopped on, but I was going to the gym, so I was like, shit, I can't,
Yeah, that's all
but
good, bro. I totally get it, man. Shit, dude. So what else, man? Anything else? How's like living there, man? Like, can you go anywhere? Is everything still kind of closed? Because here, Georgia's pretty opened up now.
oh yeah, no, we just like last week things started opening restaurants, so now you see there's like dine in,
Uh-huh.
but it's like social distancing. Um, yeah, they've been pretty strict here with like the governor. Everything was shelter in place until June 1st, and that's like LA. It's like some of the Bay Area, a lot of different counties in California, but we just we've been doing takeout on set, like a handful of restaurants.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's nuts how there's been hey, you can't do anything except go to the grocery store. That's the only thing open. But it's nuts in a sense where I it didn't really affect me just because like we have availability, being a fighter and stuff like that, and sticking to the same plan. I'm still doing the same stuff, same time. So it didn't drive me crazy like it would
Yeah.
someone that had a regular job. I feel like I keep seeing it all the time. People are, saying they're like becoming depressed and they're just going nuts. I'm like, I don't get it because I don't just go to 8 to 5 job and sit at a desk and do that.
Yeah.
I'm still leaving the house multiple times a day, going to the gym and doing workouts and things like that. I've been super busy the whole time, so I haven't had any time off. If I would have fought in January like I was supposed to, I'd be loving this quarantine. I'd be
Yeah.
I'd be I'd be super fat though, man. I'd be getting takeout every night and just watching TV all night. But no, I did the complete opposite.
Nice, bro. Yeah, I'm supposed to come out there soon. So
Oh yeah.
so jerky cuts, jerky cuts, the beef
Mhm.
jerky. I got
Oh
Uriah's
yeah, yeah.
partner that has that. So they've
Okay.
been really supportive, man. To do this podcast now. I know he's not on with us right now. With Justin Willis, he
Okay.
be over there, AKA.
Yeah.
Now he's an American top team in Florida.
Oh wow.
So jerky cuts, yeah, man, they're supporting this podcast now, and they watch all my crazy comedy videos.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know if you've
awesome.
seen any of my comedy videos I've been doing, man, but I'm gonna come out there when basically just waiting for it to open up over there.
Uh-huh.
Because I talked to them a couple of days ago, and I was like, I want to come out there and shoot some, get some media stuff with all the guys, and possibly do some comedy videos and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Promote
well, it
the
should
guys.
be coming because I know they're even just saying that we're going into phase three, and that's like the final phase of,
Yeah,
where barber shops and salons and all these other things can open up. But then there's just so many like restrictions and certain things. It's just it's just kind of crazy just walking around. Everyone's wearing masks now. It's just odd, but you know,
wild time we're in, dude.
yeah, it's super crazy. And then even right now, there's just tons of like protesting, obviously all over the country and rioting. And now it's been going on in Sacramento and some places even last night, like just looting started here and just all the tagging and stuff and vandalism of stuff. I'm just like, man, I people regardless how you feel and your opinion, but you have your right to your opinion. But I'm just
Yeah,
like, man, I understand that the protests and that's okay, that's your right, but just don't loot, don't steal, don't vandalize and set things on fire. It's like, come on.
that
Like,
doesn't do. That goes backward. Everything goes backwards.
yeah, it's I don't know, it's tough, but it's like you get into that and then you hear I posted something today about it and then just everyone came out of the woodwork. So I was like, man, I gotta delete this and
I
just
know.
sit.
Sometimes I want to say something so bad, even if you have say it the nicest way.
Yeah.
You have good intentions, and they know it. There's just always some people that are just waiting to jump on it.
Yeah, and there's people that like agree with you and feel the same way, but then there's always someone, and then it's just like they're just saying like super bad stuff on like this
Yeah,
thing, and I have like, and it's not. So I was like, damn it. Even though it makes me so angry, I'm just like I want to comment and say stuff back to them, and like start going on their page and saying all these nasty things about their families, like they do to me. So I'm just like, but I'm just like, I just delete it. I'm like, okay, I'll sit this out, and
yeah. That's all I
regardless.
do,
And
bro.
I
Yeah,
was just saying something. It was just about that. It's like don't burn our stuff down. You're ruining people's businesses. And I'm part of some businesses in Sacramento. I was just thinking if they go break the windows and light the place on fire, then you're taking away from all the employees that are trying to make some money during this time. It's just like,
yeah. It's
come
messed
on.
up, bro.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. All right, man. Well, dude, I think we're taking the time to do this shit, man.
Oh yeah. No, anytime. Yeah, let me know, man. This is cool. You got your podcast up and running, and yeah, anytime. I'll come hop on here and hop on the show, and
Hell
yeah, let
yeah.
me know when you come out to SAC.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be hitting all you guys up. We're making some videos, bro. Doing it out for sure. But it's always fun working with you guys. Yeah, man. Well, stay healthy, dude. I'll be watching your fight. I'll be cheering for you, like always.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. But thanks again, dude. You're the man.
Cool. Thank you.
Talk to you
All
later,
right, Mike. I'll
bro.
talk to you soon. All right,
All right,
brother.
brother.
Have a good day.
Later.
Later.